Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting episode of Sunday Night Heat. It is I, your Redeemer, TC Adams, coming at you live again. Don't you just absolutely love the intro? Oh, it brings a joy to my ears and to my eyes when I get to see the beautiful intro as your reigning, defending, undisputed green ticket champion of the world. I am closing in on 500 days as champion, and I will be your champion until it's the right time to cash in and become the world heavyweight champion. And I'm keeping an eye on everything for tonight, but I can't do this show alone. I have to do it with a co-host because I'm obligated to do it. So who else would I have than Brother Ambrose?
Uh, 500 days of missed opportunities is what I heard.
You got yourself knocked in the head too much by D-Man Smoke and JC Renegade to truly understand what I am doing with this green ticket title. Have I had a few obstacles along the way? Sure, I have. And that's Quan Su's fault for not seeing the vision of what I'm trying to do. You like the intro, right?
It is something.
I want more. Tell everyone and tell me how great it is. Come on, let me hear it.
It sounds like TC wants you all to tell him how great it is. So feel free to, hop into the chat and leave a comment about what you all think of TC's introduction to the show.
Yes. We do well with the live chats here in Smoky Mountain Wrestling. We are now live on YouTube. And if you are here, awesome. We have a full night of extraordinary action. I'm not on the card tonight, but you are. And you have a match with the Dragon Queen. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I feel good. I do need to apologize to the Dragon Queen. This past week has been quite hectic with just life in general between traveling and everything else. And so, Dragon Queen, I feel like I did not give you my best. And so I do apologize because you deserve better. You deserve me at my best. And I look forward to recapping our match tonight, but I'm excited for everyone to see where that went.
You know what I'm looking forward to tonight? One of the matches that I'm looking forward to is the main event. Oh, we got the Queen Alexia Payne, your world heavyweight champion, as the referee to her brother and her husband in a number one contenders match for her world championship at Capital Carnage, which is next week. We're here. We're at Capital Carnage already. Look, you know what I did? You know what I did to kind of fuel the fire for Beast Mode?
What was that?
Look at this. I wore Celtics colors. I wore Boston Red Sox. I'm fueling the fire with Beast Mode because I want him to rip Quan Su apart. Apart. Knicks suck. Boo, Knicks. Not just a hat rack. Should we get to the action tonight? Doesn't look like anyone wants to jump in and say anything about my beautiful intro.
Yep, nobody's got anything to say about it.
Criminals. Bunch of criminals out there, I say. Let's jump into the action, shall we? As we open up the show with a returning to singles competition, we got Dante Hardcore taking on David Hill. Hill, Mastodon David Hill. Listen, I think it was last show or in a recent phone call, I pitched an idea to have these two as a tag team. Hardcore Hill? Come on.
Or DH squared.
TH squared. Oh my
David
God.
Hill,
Oh.
Dante Hardcore. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Dante can do. I'm not as familiar with him as I should be, so I'm looking forward to seeing him and the Mastodon go at it.
Well, we got a couple comments right now coming in. The intro sucks, says Quan Su. Whatever, Quan. Get out of here, nonsense. All right, and then we got this gentleman right here. Oh, it is Chase Havoc. This is the opening match. Brother, thank you for the ad reads that we're going to be having later on in the show.
We couldn't do it without your help, Chase Havoc.
And then we got Beast Mode, you and your team both watching us in the playoffs. Hey, I understand we're watching from the couch. The playoffs, I just want you to know that the Knicks are terrible. And I want you to use the rage you have against me on Quan Su later tonight. Okay. And then the last one we got right now is TC sucks. No, I don't. Not for free. Anyway, as we get started here, we have Dante Hardcore versus David Hill. The bell tolls and the atmosphere tightens instantly. David Hill surges forward like a tidal wave, using his massive frame to overwhelm Dante Hardcore in a crushing lockup that drives him hard into the corner. The ring shudders on impact as Hill leans his full weight into Dante's chest, trying to suffocate the match before it can even begin. But Dante does not panic as Hill rears back for a massive overhand chop. Dante slips low, sliding out from under the Giant's reach, fires back immediately with a short, brutal elbow, snapping into Hill's jaw with precision. Before Hill can reset, Dante traps his arms into the ropes, wrenching the shoulder at an unnatural angle and stomping hard into the thighs to take away David Hill's strength in his base.
Knock him down.
David Hill roars. Roar! We've all heard his roars. We've heard his roars, right? He shoves him off, stumbling towards the center of the ring, but Dante comes right back. He charges only to be caught mid-air as Hill plants him with a thunderous black hole slam that rattles the entire ring. Sensing an early finish, Hill drags Dante to the apron and hoists him up with terrifying ease. In one fluid motion, he drives him spine first into the edge of the ring, which is the hardest part of the structure. The impact echoes, and Dante crumples to the floor, gasping for air. But somehow, he rolls himself back inside the ring as Hill follows, but the damage is already being calculated. As Hill steps through the ropes, Dante explodes with a drop kick straight into the injured shoulder, sending the Giant crashing into the barricade. But Hill wastes no time, launching himself into a running cannonball that crushes Hill against the steel steps. The referee climbs before both men barely make it back through the ring. He got to 8. He got to 9. And they both slide back into the ring. Hill, running on instinct, catches Dante with a desperate sidewalk slam that shakes the frame of the ring. And when he tries to follow up with a leg drop, his knees buckle underneath of him.
Those bad knees will get you.
The big man can't move like he used to. And that's all that Dante needed. He locks in a deep sharpshooter, sitting back with full torque on the damaged leg as Hill bellows in pain, dragging himself inch by inch until his fingertips find the bottom rope, and the break of the bottom rope buys him a few seconds, but nothing more. As Hill struggles upright, leading against the ropes, Dante steps in and cracks him with a shining wizard to the temple, and the Giant staggers. Dante bridges him up with a high-angle German suplex. My Lord, Dante. Woo! The canvas groaning under the weight of David Hill alone. But Dante doesn't hesitate. He pulls Hill in, clinches in tight with a front face lock, and spikes him with a final DDT, driving his head clean into the mat with no theatrics. Dante hooks the far leg, clinches it tight, and buries his weight into the cover for the 1, the 2, the 3. The bell rings, and Dante calmly adjusts his gear. His expression is unchanged. Behind him, David Hill lies motionless as a dismantled giant. Dante Hardcore does not celebrate. He just walks out, quiet, focused, one step further into proving that his precision always beats power. Wow.
A little bit of David versus Goliath situation there, wasn't it? Where David Hill, that man, I mean, there's a reason we call him a mammoth. The dude is huge. The guy is large. And Dante, I mean, he did what he needed to do. He did the math. What'll take down a giant? Go for the knees, go for the legs, knock him out.
He looks like he hasn't lost a step in the ring since he last was there, to be honest with you. I know you don't know much about Dante Hardcore. I've seen him in the ring several times. I believe we've had a one-on-one match before. If not, I've been in the ring with Dante before, and brother doesn't look like he's lost a step. Also, sidebar conversation, he gave me permission. He's one of the gentlemen that gave me permission. Will I use the word tonight? Tune in to find out. You don't know. We got some comments here in the chat right now. We got Chase Havoc. You're right. Sorry, brother Ambrose. Sucks. Ooh, Chase Havoc trying to pick a fight with you.
No, what I think he was saying was just because of how busy I've been this past week. He's saying, you're right, brother Ambrose. You have been busy, and it sucks. He just forgot to put commas there. You know, his 4.0 was only in like basic ABCs, things like that. So,
well,
Chase, I forgive you for your lack of grammatical correctness, but you're right. It does suck when one is just having to go. So I'm looking forward to this week of preparation for Capital Carnage.
And when he is in a valedictorian class of 3, 2 of them being his brother and his cat, it doesn't take much to do anything like that. Okay, then we got Kwansu back. Oh, no, this is Beast Mode. Terrible. We beat you every time we saw you, right? Listen, I'm not here to talk. Get angry that I'm wearing a Celtic shirt and take that anger out on Kwansu later tonight. We've already been through this. Okay, back and forth match. You're right. It was excellent match. This is awesome. I hear the fans were chanting that, but, you know, who knows? And then he says, congratulations to Dante Hardcore. And then finally says, no, I actually mean brother Ambrose, you actually suck. Wrong.
Again, Chase just is miscommunicating what he's trying to say. Maybe one of these weeks we'll have him come on. We do owe him our thanks for all the ad reads that he's giving us. Without him, we would not have the sponsorships that we do. So Chase, maybe in a couple of weeks you can come onto the show and we can clear up what you're trying to say, because I think there's a little bit of miscommunication going on.
I agree. We should definitely have Chase Havoc on the show in a couple of weeks. But as we get moving on, we do know we have one half of the tag team champions in action with the returning Peter Pan here in Smoky Mountain Wrestling. Oh, listen, this is Big Balls Bubba. Big Balls Bubba coming at you live here in Smoky Mountain Wrestling, taking on Peter Pan. The atmosphere inside the Smoky Mountain Arena is electric as Sunday Night War barrels towards Capital Carnage. Listen, they got Bubba and Alan Cutter going up against Peter Pan and Jack Frost at the pay-per-view for the tag team titles. Maybe
I am looking forward to that match.
Maybe this match is just a proving ground to see who's going to come out in the lead for that match. Peter Pan enters with a thunderous reaction, the veteran moving with effortless confidence as Jack Frost follows closely behind like a silent enforcer. But across the ring, Bubba Killings marches out with Alan Cutter, the tag team champions, draped over his shoulder, soaking in the increasingly hostile reaction from the crowd, growing tired of the champion's aggression. I personally love what Bubba Killings is doing lately. Alan could do without him, but Big Balls Bubba, I'm a big fan of him. I'm a big fan of Big Balls. Pause. I'm a fan of Big Balls Bubba. The bell rings and the clashing styles is immediate. Bubba tries to impose his size early, bullying Pan towards the corner, but the Arrow veteran refuses to be cornered. Pan slips free with a burst of agility, evading Bubba's grasp with a quick handspring before snapping off a fury of palm strikes that stagger the big man. A springboard dropkick follows, sending Bubba stumbling backwards. But Bubba is the champion for a reason. There's a reason. Pan attempts a crossbody, only for Bubba to catch him midair and drive him violently into the canvas, instantly swinging the momentum. Bubba slows the pace, grinding Pan down with clubbing blows. I lost my spot here first. Clubbing blows and heavily controlled to the mat, forcing the veteran to fight from underneath. Pan eventually creates separation with a shove to the ropes and catches Bubba on the rebound with a earth-breaking skywalk drop kick. That's an interesting move. Walking the ropes before launching with pinpoint accuracy. The crowd erupts. The crowd erupts. Bubba wisely rows outside to regroup with Cutter, but Pan refuses to let the momentum die. He hits the ropes and launches himself over the top with a high arc corkscrew plancha, wiping out both Bubba and Cutter at ringside.
Peter
Pan, brother, slow it. Listen, this is why the man can fly, right?
I was about to say, he's a big boy, but the dude can fly.
He can fly. Look at that aggression on that brother's face. The veteran isn't done. As Bubba struggles upright, Pan sprints along the barricade and launches into a spectacular Hurricane Rana off the railing, sending the tag team champion crashing to the floor. Pan rolls Bubba back inside and looks to capitalize. Back in the ring, Bubba regains control by catching Pan on a springboard attempt, dropping him hard across the top turnbuckle. Smelling the opportunity, Bubba climbs up for a superplex, but Pan fires back with repeated headbutts. Boom, 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 boom. In one fluid motion, Pan scales the ropes and flips over Bubba into a sunset flip powerbomb from the top rope, planting the heavyweight in the center of the ring. Bubba instinctively rolls towards the ropes, barely escaping the pin attempt, but Pan is already moving. He springs off the ropes, connecting with a flight to Neverland, a springboard 450 cutter that spikes Bubba into the mat, and Pan hooks the leg for the 1, the 2, and Bubba kicks out, and the arena is going absolutely nuts. It's going nuts. Now exhausted, both men begin trading momentum in increasingly desperate bursts. Bubba nearly turns Pan inside out with a massive lariat, but Pan survives. He answers with a leaping enziguri that leaves the champion staggered. At ringside, Alan Cutter begins pacing aggressively, drawing Jack Frost closer. The tension between the two reaches its boiling point.
Will they fight or kiss?
My vote is kiss. That's my vote. Inside the ring, Bubba looks for the one final power move, but Pan slips free, ducks low, and counters for a snap German suplex, and that's enough. Pan ascends the turnbuckle one last time. He launches, and a flawless 450 splash connects clean onto Bubba for the 1, the 2, the 3. The crowd erupts as Pan pins one half of the tag team champions, but the celebration only lasts for only seconds as Alan Cutter slides into the ring and cracks Pan across the back of the head with a championship belt, and Bubba joins him immediately as the champions begin to a savage assault on the exhausted veteran. Jack Frost looking confused as ever, but he doesn't hesitate. He storms the ring and levels Cutter with a crushing shoulder block before turning his attention to Bubba. The ring descends into total chaos as all four men begin to collide in a wild brawl. Pan recovers enough to hit a springboard crossbody. He hits a lot of springboards onto both. He does fly, right? Onto both champions. Jack follows by launching a Cutter over the top rope while Pan clotheslines Bubba to the floor. The champions retreat up the ramp, furious and regrouping. But in the ring, Peter Pan and Jack Frost stand tall, raising the tag team championships high above their heads. And the message is unmistakable. At Capital Carnage, the veteran duo isn't chasing gold. They're coming to take it.
Beautiful. I am looking forward to that. I do think that we have a couple comments. One that I think we should address.
All right,
I believe it was Chase Havoc saying that Peter Pan is almost 60 years old and it's incredible that he can do all this stuff. Look here, Chase Havoc. Peter Pan never grows up.
Yeah.
Get it straight.
Get your facts straight. He also said, I'm not miscommunicating. I'm actually meaning to say it for the record. I'm graduated baker. Yes, I'm old. No, you're not. You're 17. Get back to bed. All right. The show's on too late for you.
Go to bed. It's already, what is it? 8:22 or no, where are we at? We're in Virginia at 9:22. Excuse me. Chase Havoc, it is past your bedtime.
I'm gonna have fun with my match, Louis. Oh, okay. You're in the ring with El Colosso Americano. There's no shot you are going to win. Next, we got Stu Heyman. Good luck, everyone. I like that. No, we're not clipping that. We're not clipping. Not doing that. Not doing it. Is Pan allowed to hook? Oh! Ooh!
I see what you did there, Beast Mode.
I get it. Congrats to Peter Pan. Exactly. Listen, there's one thing in wrestling that's always the trope of wrestling is that you don't touch the championships as you're challenging for the championships. So do you think Bubba or Jack Frost and Peter Pan hoisting the tag team titles high in the air is a mistake? Or are they just clearly sending a message?
No, I think it's a spoiler alert.
Ooh.
I think they just want everybody to know this is what their match at the end of Capital Carnage is going to look like. I think that they both believe in themselves that much that they're just confident. They're bringing it forward with them. And so is it the smartest move? I don't know. It might fire Bubba Killing and Alan Cutter up, but we'll have to see. I mean, Killing Cutter is a group they've held their own when it's come to these championships. So we'll just have to wait and see next week.
Chase Havoc says I'm not 17, I'm 25.
No, again, the grammatical mistake. It's I am 17, I'm not 25. We get it.
El Colosso is a loser, and I'm going to beat the piss out of him in this match tonight. I don't think so.
Is that like a masturbation thing, or
why are you going to beat piss out of him? That's gross. And Twansu says, way to ignore my comment, yeah, bitch. What comment? You didn't, other than the one you said your intro sucks. That's the last comment I got from you. So maybe we should just pay attention.
I think that is the last comment that I've seen from him. Yeah. Not to agree with TC Quan, but I don't think your comment went through.
Yeah. Pay attention, you bitch. I am 25. I'll pull out. Should we get him on to have him prove it?
Yes, at some point, Chase Havoc can clear up all this miscommunication that seems to be happening.
And then Quan Su goes on to say, I apologize for your work and did you deserve your own show night. That's okay. My gosh. You know, I've done so much for Smoky
Mountain. I agree with him, but yes.
I've done so much for Smoky Mountain Wrestling since its return in January of last year. I've done so much full of product. You know, before me, there wasn't live live result shows. Before me, there wasn't the showcase for Brother Ambrose every time we do a show. Before me, there wasn't a chance for Gully Guns and Truck to be the dominant people that they were. Before me, there wasn't someone who was the longest reigning green ticket champion in the history of smoking. I can go on and on and on, and I'm going to make this place better once I cash in. Maybe it's tonight. Maybe it's Capital Carnage. No one knows when I'm going to cash in. Only I know, because I know what the perfect timing is. Anyway, we got to move on because, listen, Chase did say, you got something to say?
No, I was just coughing.
Oh, okay. Chase Havoc says Colosso is a loser. Well, he has a chance to prove it right now, because the next match is a fatal four-way for bragging rights here in Smoky Mountain Wrestling. We got the handsome, debonair, greatest luchador of all time, El Colosso Americano, taking on Chase Havoc, Hayden Six, and a returning Stu Heyman, who also looks very dapper, by the way.
I was about to say, that's a handsome man in that photo right there.
He says, bro, shut up. No, bro, you shut up. I'm actually... Okay, we're getting out of there. Not displaying that one. Chase Havoc, every time you tried to get me to like you, I dislike you even more. All right, the arena is washed into deep crimson pulse as Stu Heyman makes his return after 3 years away in the ring. Gone is the spectacle, no theatrics, no mystique, just a cold, cynical presence in black gear and a stare that suggests that there is unfinished business. Across from him is El Colosso Americano, the masked giant, Chase Havoc, the high-risk chaos agent, and Hayden Six, the visibly transformed, no hesitation, no resilience, only aggression. Listen, this is a match to behold. The bell rings. Hayden Six explodes first, targeting Havoc with a barrage of stiff, unhinged strikes. And at the same time, Colosso and Heyman collide in the center like a crashing freight trains. Heyman eats heavy chops, but answers with his brutal neck shot that staggers a giant into the corner, where Colosso unloads with a thunderous bunch of headbutts. Boom, 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 boom. This match,
we got to outlaw those headbutts, I'm telling you.
From El Colosso? No, that's his signature. Can't do that.
Too many of them.
The match breaks open immediately. Havoc slips a lariat from Colosso and springboards into a double drop kick that knocks both Heyman and the giant backwards. He follows with a Hurricane Rana on Six, sending him tumbling to the floor before launching himself over the top rope with a corkscrew senton that wipes out all three opponents at ringside.
Okay.
For a moment, it looks like Havoc has taken control until the chaos swallows him. That they really should just be spitting him, not swallowing him, right? Heyman regains his footing and catches Havoc mid-air on a springboard attempt, converting into a crushing AA spine breaker before he can follow up. Havoc also barrels through both men with a double lariat that shakes the entire ring.
That's a big boy.
He is a big boy. He's my favorite luchador on the planet, I'm telling you. Hayden Six re-enters with a strike weapon, blasting Colosso with a basement dropkick before briefly stunning the giant. And then the fight spills everywhere. Heyman becomes methodical on the outside, powerbombing Havoc into the apron with a beautiful, brutal precision. But inside the ring, Colosso overwhelms Six until the smaller man starts targeting the giant's base, finally forcing him down to just one knee. The momentum shifts again when Heyman re-enters and strikes Colosso with a massive spine buster. He follows with a running power slam that nearly finishes the giant for the 1, the 2, but Havoc brings up the pin with a springboard cutter. Interesting tactic. Why couldn't you just kick him like a normal person? Right? Colosso rises and then flattens Havoc with a leg drop. Now all three are down, and Six is watching for his moment. The match reaches its peak when Colosso and Heyman battle onto the top rope, trading heavy shots, teetering for a superplex attempt, but Six sprints in with reckless timing. He shoves both men off the turnbuckle and through the table that is at ringside. The impact detonates the structure, leveling all three men scattered in the wreckage. What? This is crazy. Six turns back into the ring and takes control, dropping Havoc with a vicious elbow strike, and he drags him into position and attempts to lock in the top rope hung Boston Crab, and his knee gives out mid-transition. This injury changes everything. Hayden Six tries again through grit alone, but the hold is compromised. Havoc barely survives, crawling and refusing to quit. Then Heyman re-enters the ring. He springboards into the ring and levels Six with a brutal clothesline, sending him tumbling out and clutching his injured knee. The medical staff rush towards the floor, and Six is effectively removed from the match. Poor Hayden Six is injured. They call for the X's. Ooh, boom. Hate to see it, man. I hate to see it.
Yeah, that could take him out for a while, unfortunately.
Colosso tries to intervene, but it's too late. Heyman has turned back towards Havoc. No hesitation. He hits the misbehaving and immediately transitions to the OCC. Havoc fights instinctively but fade fast. The referee checks the arm once, twice, 3 times. The bell rings, and your winner, Stu Heyman. Heyman releases the hold and slowly rises as the arena falls into a stunned silence. Colosso stands at ringside, furious but momentarily unable to re-engage. The medical staff rush Six on the floor while Havoc is carried away. Heyman doesn't celebrate, though. He simply stares forward, having reclaimed his dominance in the match and left all 3 of them behind. Wow. Unbelievable. Listen, I love me some Hayden Six, so prayers up. Prayers up for Hayden Six as he is injured and could be on the shelf for quite some time.
Yes. We wish him a speedy recovery. We hope he heals quickly, but we understand. Take your time, Hayden Six. Do what you need to do. Get that knee rehabbed. Get it good.
He is a future champion here in Smoky Mountain Wrestling. I can guarantee it. Future champion. But here's the funny thing. Chase Havoc suffers another loss here in Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
I imagine this is starting to get to Chase. I know back in the locker room, he's been getting pretty angsty and pretty upset that he keeps losing and that he keeps getting knocked down. He thinks he has more to offer. I believe he has more to offer. He's got to tap into whatever that is to get him over this threshold.
Where? Sorry, autocorrect. Holy shit, this is crazy. It was a great match. I love it. Yep, here it is. Boy is angry. The boy is angry.
I don't know. He calls himself the Anarchist, so I want to see what happens with that. Is he going to live into that name? Is he going to live into that title? Where does this go? Chase, you've been a big part of the locker room. You've got us ad reads, you've got us sponsorships. We appreciate all that you're doing, but something's got to change, man. Otherwise, I don't know. I just see you snapping one day.
Well, speaking of Chase Havoc and his ad reads, I think this is a perfect time to stop the show and have an ad read for Hop. He did not just get us one ad read for this week. Chase Havoc, brother, you got us 2 ad reads. So we'll read one now and one right before the main event, as we got Chase Havoc leaning into the camera, holding a perfectly crisp Hot Pocket with reverence. Oh, yeah, he says. Just look at the golden flaky crust straight out of the microwave into the greatness. 2 minutes of pure molten perfection. I've been waiting all day for this moment, and nothing is going to stop me from enjoying my El Colosso busts through the door, shaking the frame, fired up and intense. And I can't do the El Colosso moment, but he says, Colosso smells the snack. Chase Havoc is engaged in unauthorized lunchroom activity. Havoc says, hey, this is my break time. It's ham and cheddar. Back off, Colosso. Get your own snack. Colosso says, this is warm, flaky treasure, and Colosso demands shared respect. Havoc says, respect? This is food etiquette. There are rules. Colosso says, in this arena, there are no rules, only hunger. Chase Havoc says, that's my lunch. You can't just steal a man's Hot Pocket live on TV. Colosso says, tastes like cheese and ham. That's it. I'm filing a complaint with catering and management. Hot Pockets, the ultimate ringside snack. Flaky crust, melty center, and absolutely no chance of surviving the locker room encounter with El Colosso. Hot Pockets, fuel your hunger before someone else does.
Yes, if you want to wrestle like Chase Havoc or El Colosso, eat a Hot Pocket.
Eat yourself a Hot Pocket.
You know, El Colosso, I think he brought some wisdom to us, though, that if you eat a ham and cheese Hot Pocket, it'll taste like ham and cheese.
Brilliant.
He's a brilliant man.
Yeah, listen, his English isn't that good. I'm sure the translation didn't match up perfectly what he was trying to say. But listen, we love El Colosso here on the show.
Yes.
Chase Havoc, obviously still angry about his match results. All right, that's it. I've officially snapped. You want to see change? I got you. Yeah, change your draws. I think you pooped yourself when Heyman got you in that clutch, brother. You pooped yourself. You done pooped yourself.
Oh, man.
Hate to see it. But you know what I hate to see? I hate to see you suffer because you got the next match up here in Smoky Mountain Wrestling. You got the Dragon Queen. Brother Ambrose, I know you apologized to the woman earlier in the show. How are you feeling going into this match? And how do you feel going into that unsanctioned match? Is it unsanctioned? I can't remember.
I mean, I don't know if this is breaking character, but we've signed a contract, so I'm pretty sure it's sanctioned. No, going into the match, I felt great. You know, I felt rested. I felt well prepared. Like I said, I'd been doing some traveling. I've been doing some meditation, been having some time to myself and alone. And as you all saw this week, I was away from my normal monastery, and so that was a gift to me. But like I said to the Dragon Queen, I did not do her justice in leading up to this feud. And so it would not surprise me if that angered her, that while I did not mean it intentionally, I do think she may have felt a little ignored.
Chase Havoc says Brother Ambrose wins this. He's got a huge match against JC coming up. He has to focus on the lights out. That's what it was, a lights out match. So this win is very important to him.
That's true.
I agree.
That is where my focus has been on just hoping and holding on to hope for JC.
The fluorescent hum of the backstage area is the last calm before a moment of silence, before violence erupts. Brother Ambrose stands in a quiet prayer, adjusts his robes, composed, focused, unaware of what's about to happen. Then the shadow moves. D-Man Smoke strikes first, swinging a silver skull cane in a low, brutal arc that shatters Ambrose's ankle. Brother Ambrose collapsed instantly, barely hitting the floor before Smoke drives a cane into his throat, pinning him down. JC Renegade steps in next. Calm, methodical, surgical, he traps Ambrose's hand against the concrete and drives a heel down across his knuckles. A second twist follows, forcing a sickening break as his fingers are bent back and snapped with deliberate pressure. Then damage is done. They vanish without urgency, and Ambrose is left broken on the floor. Despite medical staff pleading with him to stop, Ambrose forced himself upright and staggers towards the ring. Every step is survival. He emerges through the curtain, already compromised, his robe stained as his ankle stable, his right hand hanging useless at his side. Dragon Queen watches from inside the ring. The bell rings. She does not wait. Dragon Queen attacks immediately, targeting the damaged leg, forcing Ambrose into a defensive collapse. The headbutt split him open early, turning the match into a slow unraveling. It's getting unsettling. Ambrose refuses to fold completely. He catches her with a stiff left-handed jab and a desperate one-armed clothesline that buys him a second of space. He tries to lift her, but his ankle gives out mid-motion, dropping him hard to the mat. And that's where the Dragon Queen capitalizes instantly. She locks in the Queen's lockdown, wrenching the already broken hand into a brutal submission. The pressure forces a guttural scream from Ambrose. Ah! She fully
Sorry.
His claws already on the ropes to break it, but the Queen stays on him. Dragon Queen stays on him. She climbs the turnbuckle and launches the Can't Rain all the time, driving her boots into his chest, knocking the air completely out of him. Ambrose barely moves. The Dragon Queen transitions into the Dragon's Walk, circling him with unnerving control before dragging him back into the fight. She forces the mandible claw, calling the swallowing sword, and as Ambrose immediately convulses under the pressure, blood and struggling to spilling into the hold. She doesn't release it until she's already ready to end it. Ambrose dragged up again. Sweet dreams, a brutal GTS snaps his head backwards, sending blood across the ring. She is still not finished. Dragon Queen lifts him for one more last right, a high-angled powerbomb that drives him into the mat finally. Ambrose goes completely limp, and the referee immediately waves off the match. Medical rushes in, but the tone has already shifted again. The arena lights go dim in a cold gray. JC Renegade and D-Man Smoke reappear at ringside unhurried. Smoke uses his cane to nudge Ambrose's broken hand, inspecting the damage like a verdict that already has been delivered. Renegade crouches, picks up a loose tooth from the mat, and places it on Ambrose's robe pocket with an unsettling calm. Smoke taps the cane twice. They leave. No celebration, no music, just silence, but the message is clear. Brother Ambrose didn't just lose a match. He survived an execution. Oof. How you feeling, dude?
Well, as you all know, we go over these results after the fact, so you may have noticed just once again the damage to my head, and without the luxury of hair to cover it up, you all can see what's happened. I won't show it too much, just the slight bruise on my hand there. Not a whole lot of usage with my dominant hand, and so I give props to the Dragon Queen. She had a match. She did what she needed to do. She had the cards were stacked in her favor this match, and so I applaud you. You did what you needed to do. But someone needs to put D-Man Smoke in his place. He's trying to corrupt JC Renegade. He's corrupted this match. I'm not happy.
I worked closely with D-Man Smoke in the past. I hate to admit that I was in the unholy trinity, but those clowns left me for what they thought was greener pastures, but those greener pastures closed their doors and left me high and dry with the tag team titles were on the line. We had the world, but D-Man Smoke is so selfish that he's going to stop, not going to stop until you, brother, are buried into the ground. You're lucky this is not a buried alive match. Maybe at some point it could be. And then you could bury D-Man and JC together. Lovebirds.
I have every intention of breaking those two up. And so next week, JC, I hope whatever deal that you've made with this devil, I hope it's worth it.
Chase Havoc says, this is an unfair fight. Brother Ambrose got taken down by D-Man. Yeah, he doesn't fight fair. He says, oh, shit. It's JC and D-Man. This is crazy. Yeah, you hate to see it. Someone says, what a show. Someone, yeah. Hey, we can't do this without your ad read, and we got another one coming up very soon. But right now we have a tag team match that I am looking forward to because we have the returning, look at him, El Luchador, the ugly wrestler.
Mr. Sexy.
Oh my gosh. Don't buy into his nonsense, okay? He's an ugly son of a gun, and he
might be the best looking luchador that we have on this roster.
Have you not seen El Colosso Americano?
To quote El Luchador, Jace.
Okay. Before we get into this match, Kwansu does say, we left your ass because you were dead weight. Okay, so how did that work out for you over there? How did it work out?
I do believe that he's in a number one contendership match for the World Promo Championship tonight.
If we want to break some kayfabe and break some like walls down, you left me because you thought things were going to be better in a different company when we were merged as one company. You thought things were going to be better for you. How did that work out for you?
Ooh.
You got beat. You got beat by the world champion over there and buried by the world champion over there, but that's fine. We don't want to talk about that.
Yeeted him out, yoinked him in over here, huh?
Now you know how betrayal feels like. It's not full circle yet, brother. It's not yet. Our story's not done. But their story is just beginning here in this matchup for with these tag teams as they go into singles matches against each other at Capital Carnage. But this week, can they coexist? That's one of my favorite tag team tropes in wrestling is can they coexist? And we're going to see it live tonight. The tension is immediate as the bell rings. Craig Harris steps forward, locking eyes with Robert as the crowd erupts in support of the hardcore champion.
Craig.
No feeling out process, just an impact. Craig fires first, driving Robert into the corner with a stiff shoulder thrust, but Robert responds with a sharp eye rake behind the referee's view, followed by heavy cross fist shots that shifts momentum instantly. He reverses an Irish rip that levels Craig with a brutal running shoulder tackle. The champions are forced to adjust. Craig tags in Brandon Buck, and the crowd responds loudly.
Woo!
Buck tries to use speed, but Robert reads him perfectly, catching him midair and crushing him with a falling power slam. Robert then tags in El Luchador, the wrestler. The veteran enters with a crisp, explosive offense, springboard drop kick, and then a fast hurricane rana that sends Buck spilling to the outside. El Luchador doesn't break motion. He simply resets as Robert watches with quiet approval. Outside, the champions need to regroup, but not for long. Craig breaks the lull by re-engaging, but the challengers isolate Buck with quick tags and heavy control. Craig uses his experience to ground the luchador with a dragon screw, slowing the pace and allowing the champions to take over. For a stretch, they cut the ring in half, wearing El Luchador down with tight, efficient teamwork. A double spine buster nearly ends it, but the luchador refuses to stay down. He counters a suplex attempt into a desperate DDT, buying just enough time to crawl into his corner to a hot tag on Robert. Robert enters like a force in nature. He wipes out Buck with a massive clothesline, then levels Craig with a spine buster and a running senton that crushes Craig for a near fall, but Buck breaks it up just in time. Chaos returns instantly, not Chase, not Havoc, not Chaos. He's not in this match. Buck dives off the top rope with a missile drop kick to save Craig, sending Robert stumbling back. Luchador clears Buck from the ring and follows with a high-risk dive to the outside, wiping him out again. Inside, the heavyweights reset. Craig and Robert trade brutal strikes in the center of the ring. Craig goes for a lariat, but Robert counters with a sidewalk slam that shakes the canvas. Robert climbs the turnbuckle looking to finish it, but Craig cuts him off, crotching him on the top rope. Craig climbs and delivers a massive superplex. Both men crash hard. All four competitors are down, and the match reaches its final chaos stage. Buck and Luchador re-enter the same time, and the match fully breaks apart into a brawl. Luchador wipes Buck out with a standing moonsault, while Robert flattens Craig with another heavy slam. Robert hooks the leg for the 1, the 2. Before the 3, Buck blasts Robert with a steel chair. The referee immediately calls for the bell, and as a result, Robert and El Luchador are the winners by disqualification. But the match doesn't end. It just begins to fracture. Buck continues swinging the chair before the luchador springs into a drop kick, knocking it away and sending Buck to the floor. And then the fight spills everywhere. Craig and El Luchador brawl up the ramp, through the stage area and into the set. Craig is thrown into the Titantron, shattering the LED panels into a burst of sparks. El Luchador finishes him with a slam of sexy on the staging floor, leaving him unconscious in the wreckage. But then at ringside, Robert loses control completely. He drives Buck into the announce table and unleashes an unprotected elbow before grabbing a jagged piece of broken timekeeper's equipment and grinding it across Buck's jaw and neck, drawing heavy blood. Robert stands over him, bloody, breathing heavy, and grabs the .com King Championship from the floor and raises it high from the barricade, shouting down at his fallen opponents. Both champions are broken. The challengers are standing tall over who's left, and Smoky Mountain Wrestling security is nowhere close to stopping it. Wow. This has been a night where challengers are showing why they deserve to be champions.
Yes, indeed.
Wow. Unbelievable.
That is. What's surprising, too, is Buck is not the hardcore champion, but he brought hardcore into it. Because to quote School of Rock, you aren't hardcore unless you live hardcore. And he lived hardcore tonight.
It's true. He got frustrated and took that chair. Look at that grimace on his face. Look at that. That's what he looks like. He says, I heard soon we'll be getting some ad reads from Just Cologne, sponsored by...
All right, Jay, stop with the spoilers.
Listen, we haven't seen the ad reads yet from El Luchador. I'm sure they're coming, but he just came back. Just pump the brakes, brother. Half the Hot Pockets aren't enough for you?
But if you do want to smell sexy, like Big Sexy, Jace.
I'm not in this match because I'm clogging the toilet for alcohol. Oh, my gosh. He caused me that match. I'm getting payback right now.
Is
I think you're wrong. I think El Colosso is going to be clogging your toilet because you don't have enough to clog El Colosso's
I was about
toilet.
to say, is he standing in the toilet? What is he doing? The kid's like $1.25. So
Maybe $1.15. Don't give him the credit. He said, congratulations, El Luchador and Robert. Who's Robert?
don't know.
I will read this other Quan Su comment. What'd you clog it with? Hot Pockets? Because we have another ad read before our main event from. Here it goes. You ready? Another ad read?
Let's hear it.
Oh my gosh. Did he clog it with Hot Pockets? Let's find out.
Hot Pockets.
Panic and shouting at the camera. No, Colosso, stop. That's straight out of the microwave. You can't grab it yet. It's nuclear hot. El Colosso fears nothing. Not heat, not destiny of pepperoni. El Colosso immediately regretted jumping back. It's still hot. Why is it so hot? It's like a fire of 1,000 oven settings. Chafe Havoc says, I told you, you got to let it sit. 1 minute. It literally says it on the box. El Colosso says, you didn't say it with enough authority. The authority was missing. And what do you mean authority? It's instructions. Fix it. Save Colosso from the cheese betrayal. Milk. Go get the milk. That's the move. Colosso will find milk of peace. And he's taking everything. I just wanted one snack break. Just one. Hot Pockets. So hot and melty, you'll need to respect the cool down time or risk total locker room chaos. Hot Pockets. Flaky, cheesy, and absolutely worth the wait.
I don't know. We've seen Chase get mad and upset with El Colosso in the chat, but it seems like he and Colosso are kind of a dynamic duo. They kind of got a thing going between the two of them. I like it.
El Colosso just likes to troll Chase Havoc and take his Hot Pockets. He took my steak earlier in the night. You know, he's just a man who likes to eat.
Yep.
He is El Colosso, the large American, so he needs to eat.
I do think that we need to give a little bit of thanks to Beast because he has helped clear something up to us.
He says eating on them Hot Pockets is you know what? You're right. And then Quan Su,
for that clarification.
Yes, thank you. And before we get to the main event, we got Quan Su. Stop. Keep believing in your delusions. We left you because you were dead weight, and I went on to be undefeated for an entire year while you were passing out we believe hand jobs. Believe what you must, though, but the moment that you lost, you ran away. That's fact, brother. That's fact. Go to the history books. It's there. And then as soon as you get your sisters involved, now you're actually in the main event because of me. You're in the main event, Quan, because of me. I am the main event, and so are these three clowns that are in this main event match tonight. I brought them there. You don't have to believe me. The proof has been there. The proof has been there. Okay, but we got this number one contendership match. You know what? I just realized something. I don't have a match for Capital Carnage. I don't have a match for Capital Carnage. You know, maybe that's fine. Maybe that's fine because I want to see the three people of this match destroy each other. And maybe
it'll be a good match. I think the three of them are going to do some damage to one another.
Maybe. I know every secret about this family. I know every single secret about this family, and I'm only letting in a little bit out of a time. Was it big to tell everyone about Quan and Queen? Yeah, I got more. I got a lot in the tank, Brother Ambrose. And I will be at the top of the mountain.
All right.
Okay. We got some more comments before we get to the main event. Does anyone remember when El Luchador took a dump in trucks? We don't talk about that. Get out of here. I'm excited for this main event. I wish I was, but I enjoy chaos, so it's fine. I was main eventing way before we ever tagged together. Okay. I brought you into this, so it's fine. Okay. Well, if you want to believe that, it's fine. I came in and got more over it, and you hate that. Kwanzaa never needed to. Oh. Let's get this over with, okay?
All right, let's see what happens.
The main event of Sunday Night War this week as we take place in Roanoke, Virginia. This is your hometown, right?
Close to it.
Close to it. This is the number one contendership. The special guest referee is the Queen. The lights of the center drop, but the theatrical of the past is completely gone. There are no supernatural effects tonight. A heavy, slow, bass-driven rhythm rattles the arena walls. The thick fog of the red spotlight are discarded. Instead, the staging area is a cast of cold, stark blue. Out steps Kwanzaa, and the Roanoke crowd collectively feels a shift. The white contacts are gone, and the first time fans see a raw, unedited fury in his eyes. Stripped of the Korean werewolf mystique, he is something far more dangerous, a man fueled by pure, unadulterated reality. Ever since the world found out that the Queen is his biological twin sister and Beast Mode is his brother-in-law who stands in his way, the friction has died. Kwanzaa marches down the ramp with terrifying hyper-focus, aggression intensity, staring holes straight through his family. He steps into the ring, not pacing like an animal, but standing dead center, dead-eyed, waiting for the man who married into his bloodline. Ooh. The lights flash back full of the arena brightness, and the screen cuts to the backstage area. The crowd erupts as the camera tracks Beast Mode charging out of his locker room. Pure adrenaline fueling his stride. He bypasses the traditional ramp entirely, bursting through the crowd as fans clamor to touch his shoulders. He storms to the ring, jumping onto the apron as massive, deafening pyrotechnics explode behind him. He got the Cody Rhodes treatment here tonight, folks, and you're welcome. He steps into the squared circle, looking directly at his brother-in-law, standing between them, looking completely professional, but carrying the unimaginable emotional weight is the woman caught directly in the crossfires of her own family. The special guest referee, the Queen. The second bell rings. Any semblance of traditional wrestling goes out the window. There is no feeling out process. Kwanzaa charges across the ring like a predator unleashed, meeting Beast Mode dead center. The two powerhouses collide with a sickening thud, trading massive closed fist right hands. Kwanzaa rallies on his terrifying real world aggression, rattling Beast Mode with rapid successions of heavy underhanded throat thrusts and jaw-shattering uppercuts that echoes through the arena. Every heavy strike lifts Beast Mode slightly off his feet, but Beast Mode barely blinks. Fueled by adrenaline because the Knicks suck, Beast cuts off the momentum with a devastating high-impact shoulder tackle that sends Quan crashing into the canvas. Beast takes control using his sheer size to ground Kwanzaa. He drives a brutal knee into Kwanzaa's ribs and hurls him across the ring with a massive belly-to-belly suplex. Every time Quan tries to fight back, Beast Mode is there to shut it down with raw power, punishing his brother-in-law with short-arm clotheslines and crushing military press slams. But Kwanzaa thrives on pain. This is why he's been alone for so long. He thrives on pain. His eyes burning with personal hatred. Rising with a cold, relentless stare, Quan ducks a clothesline, hits the ropes, and takes Beast Mode down with a ferocious flying forearm. The momentum shifts violently. Quan unleashes a fury of corner strikes, capping it off with a running cannonball that leaves Beast Mode dazed. Seeking to maximize the damage, Kwon Soo hoists Beast Mode's massive frame onto his shoulders and climbs the turnbuckle, risking it all. The crowd holds its breath as Kwon Soo executes a staggering high-risk superplex off the top rope.
Wow.
The ring canvas warps from the impact of both giants bouncing off the mat, sending shockwaves through the front row. Kwon rolls out onto the apron, gasping for air. Beast Mode stumbles to his feet on the outside, leaning heavily against the announcer's table. Sensing the kill, Kwon Soo springs onto the top rope, launches his entire body towards the floor, driving Beast Mode completely through the broadcast table with spectacular flying diving elbow drop. That poor announce table has seen a lot tonight. The wood and the electronics shattered everywhere, burying both men in the wreckage as the crowd goes absolutely unhinged. Somehow, the battle migrates back inside the square circle. Kwon Soo scales the turnbuckle again, executing a massive diving leg drop across the throat of Beast Mode. He signals for the end. As Beast Mode stumbles to his feet, Kwon locks his hand around his throat, lifting his brother-in-law into the air with immense power, delivering a thunderous one-armed full moon chokeslam. With Beast Mode reeling, Kwon Soo smells blood. He backs into the corner, locking his eyes with his sister. The Queen, before setting up, he locks his eyes with his sister, the Queen, before setting up for a devastating spear, which he calls the Hunt. He charges across the ring, but Beast Mode anticipates it. As Kwon closes the distance, Beast Mode explodes forward, countering with a blinding speed that catches Kwon flesh on the jaw, and his signature running knee strike, the only knee that matters. Red Ross, bam, connects him with the only knee that matters. The impact is so violent that it sends Kwon Soo stumbling backwards. His knees buckle, and he falls, and his momentum sends him crashing directly into the Queen, pinning her against the turnbuckle. She hits the mat hard, clutching her hand, momentarily incapacitated. Good job, guys. Beast uses the distraction to roar back to life, lifting a dazed Kwon Soo into the air, crushing him with a devastating, definitive powerbomb. And the Beast Mode hooks the leg. The Queen is shaken, groggy, crawls over, begins the slow pin. 1, 2. Before the hand can hit the 3, Kwon Soo kicks out with a explosive defiance. The crowd is erupting from this moment. The match completely loses control, dissolving into an absolute insanity. Beast Mode is furious, screaming in the face of his own wife over the slow count. And when the Queen stands her ground, pushing him back, Kwon Soo blindsides Beast Mode from behind, throwing a vicious low blow that causes Beast Mode to double over in agony. The match becomes into a street fight in front of the referee. Kwon Soo grabs a chair from ringside and smashes it over Beast Mode's spine with sickening crack, followed by another brutal shot directly to the skull that draws blood from Beast Mode. Beast Mode, running on pure Crimson Mass survival instincts, fights through the steel. He counters a third chair shot by grabbing the weapon and ripping it out of Kwon's hand and throwing a wild, desperate lariat that knocks Kwon completely off his boots. Beast Mode hooks Kwon's head and drags him into the center of the ring and drives him skull first into a folded steel chair with a brutal high-angled brain buster. The Queen tries to pull her husband away from the weapon, but the Beast shoves her aside in a blind rage and completely consumed by madness. Both men are bleeding and the ring is littered with broken steel, and the rules have ceased to exist. They crawl to their knees, spitting blood, and begin violently trading unprotected headbutts and then open-handed slaps, completely ignoring the referee's frantic commands before the referee can even attempt to restore order or call for a disqualification. The familiar booming voice of Lorenzo Benzo cuts through the arena noise. The authority figure appears at the top of the ramp, a microphone in hand, looking through, thoroughly unimpressed by the anarchy in the ring. Cut the music right now. I'm not letting this my main event end in an unadministrated disaster. Since neither of you can decisively finish this, since the officiating has turned into a circus, I'm settling this right now. At Capital Carnage, it will be a triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship.
All right.
Oh my gosh. A triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship at Capital Carnage. The crowd blows the roof off the building. The dynamic just completely shifted. Kwansu and Beast Mode glare at each other through the masks of blood, both realizing that their path to the title just got exponentially harder.
I would love to be a fly on the wall at their 4th of July party. This family dynamic is nuts.
It's crazy. But the surprises aren't over, Brother Ambrose. As the realization of the triple threat settles in, the sinister heavy music hits the PA system. The Roanoke crowd lets out a collective gasp. Out from the back steps T.C. Adams, carrying a smug, definitive grin held high above his head, is the briefcase. Woo-hoo-hoo. The briefcase containing a guaranteed World Heavyweight Championship contract, and he isn't waiting for the pay-per-view. He is seizing the moment of maximum vulnerability. Adams marches straight down the ramp with total confidence, but instead of sliding into the ring, he stops right in front of the authority figure, and with a cold, calculating smile, Adams thrusts the briefcase directly into the hands of Lorenzo Benzo, cashing in nods with a ruthless grin and raising the stakes to make it official. Adams turns his gaze back to the ring, locking eyes with his longtime rival Quan Su, and the ring announcer grabs a mic and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, T.C. Adams has handed in his briefcase contract over to Lorenzo Benzo. This match is now officially a fatal four-way for the World Heavyweight Championship at Capital Carnage." As the show goes off the air, the absolute bedlam in the arena. Quan Su is seething. Beast Mode is ready for war. T.C. Adams is standing tall on the outside of the ring, having have flipped the entire Smoky Mountain landscape upside down on the road, the final show to Capital Carnage. Y'all forgot about this, didn't you? Did y'all forget about this? Y'all forgot about that. I know you did. I know you did. I know you did.
I will say, it can be underhanded and dirty, but that was a smart play.
Not just a coat rack.
I think between the emotional chaos that the Queen must be feeling, seeing this feud between her brother and her husband and all the family dynamics, and there's so much going on there. There's already so much tension. There's already so much just chaos that has to be going in her head. And now to have to face not one, not two, but three giants of men. This is a match.
The Queen isn't walking out World Heavyweight Champion, and that's not a prediction. It's a spoiler. She is not walking out champion. As much of you are going to say, it's not going to be me. The question is, Beast pissed off enough where he can beat the Boogeyman himself? Well, no one cares about the Boogeyman. It is a great match. I'll give it to you. It's fine. Oh, gosh.
Why are you in South Dakota? We're all in Roanoke.
Yeah.
How quickly did you get back?
What? Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Also, you know it can rain when it's hot, right?
Yeah, the poor announcer about to go to a retirement home. It's definitely a match of the night. There's a reason why this was the main event. Okay. Holy shit. It's very rare to see anybody kick out, but the only thing that matters. Yep. This is awesome. This is awesome. That's what they at. It's not a triple threat because I have cashed in the World Heavyweight Championship briefcase.
Why are we congratulating him? Just all he did was give a contract.
Maybe
Chase Havoc should know about signing contracts and giving them over. You've had, 19 jobs in the last 2 weeks. Come on, man.
He just knows that he's waiting for the future congratulations when I inevitably become World Heavyweight Champion and not even look at this. I entered into this World Heavyweight Championship match still carrying the green ticket championship. So guess what? I'm going to be 2 belts Adams, okay? 2 belts Adams coming out of Capital Carnage. I'm going to have this and the World Heavyweight Championship, and I'm going to be keeping this forever.
I'm not going to say that was a missed opportunity to say that you would be TC Adams, 2 champions Adams, but
keep that in mind for the results show next
Adam
time.
2 belt or whatever you said works too, I guess.
Well, Brother Ambrose, thank you so much for joining me tonight on this excellent episode of Sunday Night War. It's a pleasure, really, truly is a pleasure to have you. I don't like to give out compliments often, but you got hit in the head and your hand hurts from the absolute carnage that D-Man and JC did to you. So rest up, friend, because you got a war ahead of you at the pay-per-view.
We are looking forward to it next week, Capital Carnage. I'm so excited for the match card. I'm so excited for all the matches that'll be happening that night. Y'all, London will not know what hit it.
That's right. Put your hands to the screen, Brother Ambrose. Be a believer as we see everyone again for Capital Carnage.
See you all.